Hey dummies, what's up? How are you guys today? Hopefully good. It's been a wild 2 weeks for me. Been depressed, I guess we'll say. Sometimes the world weighs you down. Sometimes things around you don't seem the brightest, I'm starting to have more confidence in my abilities to continue on regardless. I'm getting a lot better at not letting the depressive stuff let me kind of give up. But man, some weeks are rougher than others, huh? It's good to see you, dummies. Good to have you here. I had a few things going on. There's a passive TV at my work, and sometimes things just play on there. Usually there's people there that have negative outlooks on life, so I try to turn something on that's hopeful or good. That said, a lot of times you go in there and you're like, hey, what's playing today? And it's a soap opera, and then I'm like, maybe it's not. And the lady's like, he raped me. They all raped me. Everyone was raped. Actually, there I was, laying in the hotel, sitting there, pantyhose stuffed in my mouth. I'm like, no, probably not. Let's not vividly describe rape right now. Hey, it's noon. Let's eat lunch before we vividly describe rape. Hey, let's just chill out, Or you'll go out there and you'll just see Biden, and he looks like some sort of new infectious alien has just taken over and is piloting his body. It's just, So that I usually try to change, because by the time they come over and start talking to us, they start, you know what I saw on the TV? Yeah, some good stuff like that. So I try to find something fun on there. The Olympics a lot of times is great when that's on. Some sort of sport that's passive is great. A lot of times you'll end up on some show with some weird host, Hoda, and some other lady, or like Kelly Clarkson apparently has just given up on her dreams and is now a talk show host, so that's fun. And every week there's some lady on yeah, and they're just dancing back and forth on a Skype Zoom call with her audience that isn't really there. It's kind of fucking sad. Cause how many are those people paying for tickets to Kelly Clarkson's show? I mean, I guess maybe. Everyone's got an audience nowadays, right? The world's big enough for everyone. Even my small theater class size of people, the world's big enough for everyone nowadays, I guess. But she'll interview people. And it's interesting, the context too, because it's always some lady that looks like Kelly Clarkson, like some curly-headed blonde chick that's like, hey, what's up? And she's talking about how great of a relationship she has with her father and shit. And this week I saw some shit, and you just think to yourself, God, why? God, why? But so she's sitting there and she's like, hey, Kelly. So and Kelly's like, so tell me about your thing. And she's like, all right, Kelly, well, when I was younger, my family and I were very excited. I was going to have a sister. And she's like, oh, okay, I understand. Yeah, you get really excited. And she's like, yes. And she never came to term. My mother had miscarried. My unborn sister had died. Oh, that's a miscarriage. It happens. Okay, that happens to a lot of people. It's tragic. It's terrible, but that's a miscarriage. Right? I don't know if I guess your unborn sister did die in a way, but it's a little, all right, a little wordy, but we'll let it, And so then she's like, and I inherited this Minnie Mouse doll. I'm like, okay, so you're seeing the grown woman with the Minnie Mouse doll, and you're like, okay, maybe this is just a, and then she starts going into detail about how her father, after every breakup, took her to Disney World. And you just huh? What? After every break, after I like, and then you see your father, and like, this bitch could have been a slut, and she still would have got every. I got to go to. My parents were like, all right, you had to choose between Disney World or Pool, which is a great choice, by the way. But like, I couldn't imagine like every time, like, my mother would see me crying and be like, probably doing something he needs to, you know. So like, it's not like one time I broke up with the girl. My mother had bought me a book. I think I talked about this on the podcast before. But my mother had bought me a book for Christmas. That was during the Christmas one. My mother had bought me a book for Christmas that was basically called Undateable. It's about who you should or shouldn't date according to God. That's what it said on the front cover, I believe. And that night I was using that book to write the letter I was going to send to my girlfriend to break up with her as I was crying. And I remember my mom came in. She opened the door. She looked at me and she's like. And then just like walked out. I'm like, yeah, 10 out of 10. This is life, you know. But I couldn't imagine if she came in. She goes, "Dummy, pack your bags. We're going to Disney World. Hey, dummy, pack your shit. We're going to Disney World. Hey, can't let these bitches get us down. We're going to Disney World." You know, imagine. So then there's pictures of this girl with her Minnie Mouse doll at Disney World, and you start to be like, okay, these people are sick. These are people that have the wealth to be just sick, you know? Just like, let's just make this woman unable to function as a daily person, then put her on national television. And that's the other part of this, you know? You see that and you think to yourself, Jesus Christ, am I lucky to not be that? And you just think, you have to think no. You know why? Because she's smiling. She's happy. She's on national television telling everyone about how the death date of her of her sister that was unborn started the tradition of her going to like Disney World or some shit with her Minnie Mouse. It's like, what the fuck? Also, good Christ, could you imagine? All right, boom. You're a father, all right? Boom. You're a father of a 14-year-old girl. I know this is troubling for many of you, as a lot of my audience is preteens, you know, usually 15, 16. I know this is hard for you, but now, boom, you're now, if you're swapping genders to a man and you have a daughter, you're 30 years old, you're rich. She comes home crying. She's like, Blake fucked Melissa, and I just can't fucking believe it. I'm so done. I'm done with the fucking world, Daddy. I'm fucking over this. Oh my God. What does she have that I don't, Daddy? What does she have? And then you're just looking at her and you think to yourself, the only thing that's proper to do now is take this sobbing teenager to a theme park. What? To a theme park. Like, and God, could you imagine that vacation? You pack your bags, you're going. She's got to be crying half the way there. Half the way there, she's sobbing. And now, if you're going to vacation every time this whore fucking breaks her heart, you know, you're flying, right? You're not driving to Florida, right? I'm sure he probably lives in Disney World, but you're probably flying to Florida. So you're in this cabin. You're in one cabin with a woman who's some sort of risk to herself and others, because she's just broken up with her boyfriend Blake, who has fucked Melissa, as we've covered. And she stopped. She's like, "Daddy, I just wanted it all to be better. Oh, Daddy, I feel so bad." And he's like, I know, honey, but Minnie Mouse is going to help. That's not her voice, but he doesn't know. Minnie Mouse he's never had to like spend any time with her, so he's like, Minnie Mouse is going to help you, you know. And he's like dancing around, trying to like make her feel bad. She's like, thanks, Daddy, you know. And like but that's got to be done like every 30 fucking minutes. So like the people across from me are just ready to barf. They're like, what the fuck is this, you know? They're and like, I mean, like, there's got to be like one like melodramatic moment like every time where she just starts crying just at the peak. Like, she's been happy all day. She's been running around like for the first time, like, oh God, it's so good to see you smile. Oh God, it's so good to see you smile, honey. You know, and you're looking, you're like, God, you're a 30-year-old dad. God, I'm so happy that I could just see you smiling. And then all of a sudden, it's about dusk. The sun is setting. You're going up to Space Mountain. You're waiting in line. It's the second time you wrote it. The first time you wrote it, you loved it. And you're sitting there, your arms around her, and she goes, Daddy. Oh, Daddy. Oh, God. And you're like, what, honey, what's happened? We've been good all day. It's been going great. And she's like, I know. But Blake wanted to be an astronaut. And he was a climber. And Space Mountain it's really hitting all the buttons, Daddy. Oh, God. My space astronaut mountain climbing. Oh, God. And she just starts crying, you know? And then you have to, like, help her get over it. Or he's like, don't worry, honey. That's why I got you. Sorry, I can't do the voice again. I don't remember where it was. I practiced the girl before. I didn't practice the guy. Don't worry, honey. I got this for you. And so he, like, hands her the Minnie Mouse. She's like, Daddy, you're the best. And so she just sits there and they're just waiting for Space Mountain. And then he, like, pays everyone ahead of that, and, like, them to let them all go first. So then he gets up to the front after spending $1,000, just skip to the front of Space Mountain. And then while the daughter is playing with the Minnie Mouse, the dad goes to what he's come to Disney World for, which is the small Korean woman in the Minnie Mouse outfit. So he goes over and he grabs himself a little bit of Minnie Mouse, you know. And then they can both get over their annoying piece of shit that they have to live with forever. One being Blake, one being the girl's mom or whatever, you know. They seem functional, okay? I'm sure if he was handed an issue, he would know how to deal with it, not just in a good way, but healthily, okay? I assure you, the man who takes his daughter to Disney World for every breakup and takes the same picture just to document it would healthily deal with most problems, okay? Shut up, okay? That's what happens when people are like, well, if he can run a business, he can raise a daughter. If he can run a business, he can run the country. If he can run a business, he can start a tractor. No, Brian, it doesn't all translate, all right? You're going to fuck up your kids. God, I cannot imagine that. Like, in the whole time, he just has it be a mini, so he can, like, say mini all the time, because he just going around fucking anyone in the mini suit. It's more about the mini suit for him, you know? He's like, God, I love the little mouse ears with the bow and shit. I don't remember what mini looks like really, but you get the idea. This week I stumbled upon some fun things too. So I go to the Walgreens sometimes. I'll buy chocolates that will inevitably kill me. Lindor truffles fill my body. And they're delicious and I will let them. But the cashier at Walgreens is checking me out. And so, like, I'm not sure how to engage with these people yet. I haven't had these conversations, you know. You go to one or two speakeasies, you start to understand what's required from you. But until you get to a few in, you're not really sure. So I start talking to the cashier at Walgreens, and they're like, what's up? And I'm, like, talking about, well, one, I had made the point of, like, we're a weird generation, right? Like, it used to be you'd be 16, you'd be bored, you'd start working on cars, you'd figure out how cars fucking work, and then you'd start working on cars for the rest of your life, right? Be a mechanic, do whatever, just get a passion for something. You'd find a TV, and you'd understand that you have to wiggle one of the tubes on there to try to get the, like, TV to work properly. Things like that. You could just play with these technologies. Nowadays, they're so advanced that they just hand you a phone and you can make a YouTube video, but I couldn't make YouTube and I could not make a phone. You understand? So now we're getting to the point where you have to outsource to professionals every time you need something repaired, right? So anytime and now we're getting to that point for cars. Keurigs, appliances, and things like that. We're getting to this place where you have to take them to professionals that are licensed to do certain things because they have to be trained to do certain shit because shit's so damn complex. Like, for example, the fucking, like, cars and shit, right? It used to be you learn how mechanics work, you can work on fucking cars, right? Okay. Well, now what the fuck do you do? That they have fucking computers in them, huh? You gotta fucking plug in a diagnostics tool. Alright, what if the diagnostics tool doesn't work? You don't know what the fuck to do. You don't know computer science. You don't understand how to do all that shit. It's fucking... It's just there's a step that's missed. And so I'm explaining this to the cashier. I'm like, some people are just gonna be so thankful when the robots take our jobs. When the robots take our jobs, people will be like, thank fuck somebody took our fucking jobs. I'm so tired of having to work. I'm so tired of having to go do things and having to learn things every year and shit. Can the robots take our jobs, please? And we'll get there eventually. So as I'm explaining this to the Walgreens cashier, which usually I would imagine by now would be like, I'm going to kill myself. They're like, hey, you watch much conspiracy stuff. So I am like, yeah, like some Alex Jones, Joe Rogan type stuff every now and then. And they're like, nah, that's baby shit. That's what they said. They go, no, that's baby shit. Oh shit. Alright, it's baby shit. And they go, look up Shattered Paradise. So I started looking this shit up. Insane. Crazy. A lot of trance music in the background. Trance music. Trance. Alright. Not just like music of like people saying high-pitched sounding things but with deep voices, you know what I'm saying? Like doing exosexuality, but singing like this, you know, exosexuality, you know, and you're like, what is the gender of this voice? No, it's more of like it puts you in a trance. You know, makes you float, makes you feel different, just things like that. And so trance music. So it's going on in the background, and it's mostly a lot of like, it's like a lot of voices, like shit like that type stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so what's happening in the background is like, they're coming. Like he'll say shit like that. They're here. And like all kinds of shit. He kind of sounds like Three Dog off Fallout 3, if you know what that is. And so he has like this very good radio voice, and he's talking in a way that it gets stuck in your head with the music. And it makes me wonder if like, one, I watched 3 episodes in one night, which ended up being about 2.5, 3 hours, which is a long time for anything. I mean, you watch Star Wars for 3 hours, you're going to be thinking about it for a minute. The music would play in my head, though. It would get stuck in my head. And it made me wonder. There was like these Fox News videos about like porn videos that were hypnotic, where they'd have different colors, different sounds playing at different times, highlighting different things. And it was supposed to be not just because like pornography and things like that nowadays are hypersensitive, because there's a ton of stimuli in it from the amount of detail and things you're seeing and the subject matter itself. But in the same way, this is applying visual aids, music, and voice all into one thing with different colors. And you start to get a more complete picture of like, oh, this is steering you in a thought process. This is taking you in a place. So while this person's talking about like, we had talked about like crypt magic and stuff. I just wonder if maybe, I didn't realize I talked about all this. I'm sorry, excuse me guys. But I do wonder if that can push people into schizophrenia. If that can make people more schizophrenic. If you can almost tell who people are by the videos they watch. Just the same way you can go, this guy's into cooking. Could you tell that about other people's stuff? Things like that. I just wonder. I did remember thinking though, like, this could take me. Like, if I watched enough of this shit, this stuff would take me away forever and I'd never get it back. Like, I might just go schizo on it. For real, I do not think that shit's good for you. And I think some people get pulled too far in, but I could be wrong too. It could be a cigarette where if you're gonna get cancer, maybe you get cancer, or maybe it doesn't necessarily give you a ton of cancer if you weren't gonna get it anyways. You know, maybe you were already gonna be schizophrenic. Maybe it was just whatever. You go to the right circus, you come out a clown. I don't know. There was another fun thing. So a lot of shit, like, so I had a buddy, no shit at homeboy. All right, I love the guy. He's a fun guy, and I enjoy hanging out with him. But he posts on his fucking Facebook like, "Hey guys," he's a bartender. "Hey guys, come on down and drink our something. Putin is gay. Come drink our Putin is gay lager. I stand with Ukraine." That's what I stand with Ukraine. Thank God. 1 second. I'll go tell the Ukrainians, "Hey guys, there's a coalition of bartenders. Don't worry, guys. There's a coalition of bartenders. They stand with you. Oh, you got firebombed. Oh. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, if you need a shot, I know some people that stand with you. So, you let me know. Your children are dead? They they can't come into a bar anyway, so it's like that's just more of you're welcome, but see you at the bar. What are we doing? Who cares? Hey, what if I publicly denounce Putin? Who cares? Hey, who cares? It's fucking dumb. It's fucking stupid. You think Putin gives a you think the Ukrainians give a shit? No. And that's the thing is people are making this some like moral obligation. The Ukrainians are a good people. They fight hard. Listen, bro. If you can transform a country into a Molotov cocktail factory in 3 days, that's an intense that something was going on already. Okay? I'm just telling you they were like that before. Alright? That said, they shouldn't be attacked or anything like that. But you start to wonder, you see a lot of photos of Ukrainians, and there's a lot of, I mean, it's European, right? There's not going to be a lot of diversity there, right? It's you know. But then again, you look at a lot of other European countries, and you think to yourself, well, if they have at least a few minorities there, maybe other places probably also should, right? Or maybe, You think Ukraine is a mostly white country because minorities don't like to go there? Or do you think maybe it's like some parts of Florida where you think there's a suspicious amount of white people here? Is there something stopping anyone else from coming here? Is there a reason maybe this part is less diverse than others? Are people maybe less welcoming than they would be in other places? Is that what? Oh. So the Peace Corps basically had to release a statement saying that Ukrainians were probably going to say some racist shit to you. Hey, if Ukrainians see you, they're probably going to say some racist shit to you. Okay? But the Peace Corps basically released a statement saying that Ukrainian refugees might have some racist things slip out of their mouth. They might say some questionable things to, especially, black volunteers. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? You fucking fly to Europe? No. Asia? Jesus. Hey, it's no longer a bit. I'm just retarded. Doesn't matter. I don't even care where it's at. You fly over to the Ukraine, okay? The Ukraine, right? And you think, I'm going to help some people out. I'm going to make this world a better place. And no one can stop me from doing that. Nobody. Nobody can stop me from doing that. You get off the plane. Yo, Blue 42, hike! And then your platoon goes over here, the other platoon goes over here. Then like one runs center just to make sure they can like cover some yardage in the middle or whatever, like military people do. And then I'm kind of picturing this like blood bowl. But then eventually you get over to a place and you see some civilians, and they're all hiding like around a corner. They're like tucked behind it. There's like there's a bullet sound like going by you, right? They're all going around them. It's like, oh god! And there's a probably like 19, 20-year-old blonde, pale-skinned woman just laying there, rubble around her. She's like slowly moving her hand. Bullets are flying by her. And you're like, oh shit. And so you see the Ukrainian people, and you're a young man of color, you know, but you see the Ukrainian people looking at you kind of bewildered. And you think, well, they're probably not sure what's happening. They're like, he's not from Russia, right? So you start to crawl. You crawl towards the woman in the middle of the gunfight. They're on one side. If they move, they get shot. So you crawl to the woman in the middle, and you go to drag her, and you just hear from across the way one guy go, no, it's fine. It's fine. Leave her, comrade. She's please don't touch our women. Do not touch the women, please. No, let her go. Comrade, don't touch women. We save women. You don't touch women, comrade. Okay, and like, okay, and you're just like crawling backwards. Like, I'm not sure who, or like, there was actually literally in the warning. And like, I mean, at that point, hop back on the plane, right? They're like, don't do that. Don't talk to girls. They don't like you. They all talk like a Despicable Me guy. And so Gru, I think. I don't remember. Fucking A, whatever. It doesn't matter. But so all of a sudden you're like, fuck it, like, you can't get home yet, so you're like, whatever, I'm gonna wait in line. You're just waiting in line there and checking in some Ukrainian refugees, and just one fucking little white kid's like, ma, and then he points at you, and then he starts making like Donnie Thornberry noise, you know what I'm saying, off the Thornberries. The little kid, he starts making those kind of noises, like acting like he's monkey and shit. And you're like, yo, what the fuck? Hey, this one's fucking Russian. They're all three of them. They're all Russian. I know. I'm for sure. The guy's next to me. No, these are our cousins. They're not Russian. No, they're Russian, and you're Russian too, so you better shut the fuck up unless you want to be Russian too. They're all Russian, all right? Take them to the shooting post. We're shooting them all. They're Russian soldiers. Even the 6-year-old, Just hate crime skyrocketing in Ukraine due to them being just pissed about people around them. I don't know, man. The world's crazy. I'm not here to make sense of it. I'm here to make light of it. All right. I'm trying to have fun. I hope everyone's safe. I don't want anyone hurting. I think what's happening now is that people in Russia are hurting from the things that Putin is doing. I think people in Ukraine are hurting from the things that Putin is doing. And I don't like what he's doing. I don't think it's good. But it's interesting to see both sides just say the same thing, and it very much so makes you wonder if there is something fishy going on. Putin to say he's denazifying Ukraine claiming that the Russians have Nazis in their midst. It should be a lot more simple than this. But people should be saying real things, not just that people are Nazis and they need to die. It should be a thing about, well, no, this is what's truly happening in here. People are getting, like, hurt, That said, I do also wonder about Ukraine. I mention this often, I'm sure, but, like, the whole connection with Biden, his son, to Ukraine. Then as soon as he's president, we just launch into some sort of war supporting Ukraine for whatever. And it's like, I'm not saying even that we shouldn't, or that if somebody else was in office, they wouldn't. It's just like, doesn't that seem fucking weird to anyone else that Ukrainian companies are paying his son however much thousands of dollars without much question? Yeah, whatever. Who cares? I'm a dummy. I've been depressed this week, man. I've been sad. I don't want to be. I try very hard not to be. I try very hard to live up here. Try very hard to think about the next life, to think about the things I want to have said about me when I'm dead, and the things that I want to get out of this life. That's what I think about now. And I try to stay up there. I try to live in a spiritual realm. I try to think about the possibilities of life. And it keeps me happy. It does. I get bogged down thinking about everyday material things, everyday life. Sometimes it's a lot more fun to listen to like Lex Friedman and wonder if we're gonna colonize space. I was actually thinking about writing some kind of story about colonizing space. I didn't realize how cool it was, but like the idea of like not colonizing Mars but colonizing space, or having like two warring factions, one of which has like some sort of element that can colonize in space and one that can like colonize Mars easier, or whatever else. Or like I was talking to some people today, and he said something. My buddy said something that's really eye opening. We were talking about like magic and things, things that used to be magic. Seeing mirrors, right? Mirrors that you look into and could see a face and could talk to somebody on. Those are truly happening now. We have iPhones in front of us that can reflect what's in front of them and then call somebody, and you can communicate face to face. Not only that, but it can take a scan of your face and produce a cartoon image much like it and project it somewhere else. Could you imagine taking that back to the 1300s? You're like, we have more shit than the Wizard of Oz had, you know? That was the Wizard of fucking Oz. Like, he was like a mythical, like, tinkerer, you know? And we have fucking more shit than that. We're getting now to where people are going up into space regularly. We're getting to where people are going to start mining on the moon. People are going to start having relatives whose jobs are on the moon. Imagine those migrant workers, huh? Imagine coming to the moon after the first settlement. That's going to be some racism, bro. You fucking come to the moon with your sun-kissed ass skin, all these pale motherfuckers looking at you like, what's up, bitch? Even even the people who are dark just like are almost white now. They just all look like Kevin Hart in the fucking Epic movie or whatever. Like it could get crazy, but it's just a fun thing to think about. It sounds like a fun setting to like have a game into, but I'm just rambling at this point. I love you guys. Thanks for listening. I've been doing a lot of other stuff, some side stuff. I'm going to keep doing it. I've been enjoying it, and it gives me purpose, but this is what I love. This is what I want to do, and this is what's important to me. This feels like my diary. This feels like the thing that will persist after I die. The other stuff is kind of based on not just like capitalistic bullshit, but also like based on consumerism and things, and that's not what I want. I want this to be my thoughts. I want people to understand who I am. There was a rapper named Chica who was on the 2020 Freshman XXL, and she had recently posted a thing on her story basically saying that she was going to kill herself by jumping off a building, but she was afraid of the stairs. She said that she always wanted to end it and that that's what she wanted in life, but she wasn't strong enough to. I wish I might. I don't have the quote to pull up, but basically at one point she says that she thinks she is an example. She feels she is to be a cautionary tale to the next person. She feels as if she is what happens when someone is neglected, and that people need to learn a lesson from that, or at least be shown the consequences of their actions. It's a very deep thought. It's not inherently good by any means. It's not inherently bad, but it's definitely the opposite of good right away, right? It's just a very absolute, upset, and angered mindset that if somebody is happy, they can't understand. That's what's weird, is that same person can also be happy at one point and not understand that thought process until it just jumps them and it hops on you, right? I understand that feeling. I do. And god damn if for most of my life I didn't feel that way. I pray the best for Chica, if that is how you say her name. If I'm fucking it up, I'm sorry. But yeah, I hope the best for people, but I feel that. I felt that for a long time, and I'm just here to say, if you feel like a cautionary tale, keep going, because it's starting to feel like I'm not. It's the first time in a long time, so keep your head up, dummies. Love you guys.